Wagwan Generals. Welcome back to the Shift Gear podcast. We're wearing suits. We both went for the same style. Actually, it's a little
Oh,
bit
got the
a little bit
pocket square.
strange. You got a pocket square. I put mine away. I have it in here, but I didn't have it out. I always got the pocket square with me. I'm wearing my fake blue light glasses because they make me look like I have a higher GPA than I do. So I have those on for the professional event we have today. For all of you who don't know, and all of you who are new here, welcome to the Shift Gear podcast. I understand this video may go a little bit farther than our normal videos. These are called the Shifties. This is our award show that we started last year. We kind of got the idea from like the NBA a little bit. Like we're just doing our own little award show, and people really ran away with it. People loved it. So we brought it back this year. We have what, like 1,300 responses or something?
Something like that. We might even have more than that, to be honest.
Yeah,
but
like
the
you
community
guys
showed
love
out.
this thing.
Yeah. So
Lots of responses, lots of things to cover. And I don't think I have anything else to shill at this moment. I think we just dive right into it.
yes. So Aneil, the first award we have is the Yapper of the Year. Aneil, do you want to describe to the people what the Yapper of the Year is?
All right. So just so you guys know how this works, so we put out a form in case you didn't see it, and we had people vote on most of these. There are a couple, and I apologize for my voice. I've been playing soccer all afternoon. I lost my voice a little bit, yelling at people. So we had people vote on the winners of this, and there's some votes or some like polls that we kind of put our own 2 cents in. I don't think we overruled any of them. We said that we'd reserve our own discretion, but for the most part, this is all what the people wanted. So this Yapper of the Year award is awarded to the person who yaps the most on Twitter. It's pretty self-explanatory. People who just talk a lot, whether it be for good reason or no reason, they all count. And last year, our winner was Jake Gearhart. He won last year, and that was our first iteration of the award. And this year we had some new nominees. So introducing our nominees, I'll go through them real quick. So we have Jake, obviously, coming back for a big appearance, and he gave us a very funny acceptance speech last year. So we'll see if he wins. I'm sure it'll be pretty funny. We have Yone, who loves to yap all over Twitter. I don't even think I follow her, and she's always on my timeline. And then we have my boy Austin Charles, who's always yapping, especially today, because today was the day the 700-point mans got in or did not get in. And he didn't get in for about 55 minutes or something. He was losing his mind a little bit when he got in at the end. So we had some very good contestants here. We had some people voting for others as well. There's a lot for Azul Chi for some reason. Poke Duels, All Out Blitzel, Grant Manley, a lot of like decent entries here. Some I don't really understand, like Zapdos TCG. I don't think I've seen him yet before. Nick Moffitt, that's a good one. Yone is Blocked was another one. So there's some good ones in here. Liam Halliburton, that's a great one actually.
Yes, he kind of fell off this year, I feel like.
Yeah.
Last year he was our runner-up for the award, but this year just didn't even make the ballot. So
it's not serious.
No.
So Kieran, who did you vote for this first one?
I voted for Yone, actually. I mean, I love Jake. He always gives me great entertainment, but I just feel like you're saying, like, she's delivering, like, bangers to my timeline, I feel like, every day. Like,
yeah.
There's some in there where I'm like, all right, like, this one's not a banger, but the ratio of just, like, bangers, just the volume of bangers is, like, super high.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, like, jokes. So, and she also has, like, I feel like a network of yappers, that she kind of is a part of.
There's like a whole crew of them. It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
I guess they call themselves the Girlies. So shout out the Girlies collectively.
Shout out the Girlies.
Great yappers on Twitter. They make Twitter a lot more fun. So that's who I voted for, Neil. How about yourself?
All right. I voted for Austin because A, he's a personal friend of mine, but B, I think it's hilarious how much he just talks. And like, bro, this guy is the quickest Twitter fingers I've ever seen. If he beefed with Drake, it was over for this guy. He's like, bro, something will get released, and within like 20 minutes, he has like a tweet up. I'm like, dog, do you even have a job? Like, what do you do during the day, bro? So I voted for Austin, but the votes are in, and this was by a 20% vote. Our boy won, and just so you guys know, here's the official envelope in my crushed up paper. Jake Gearhart. Congratulations, Mr. Gearhart. Well deserved. A two-peat, the first two-peat in Shifty's history. And right here, we'll put in his acceptance speech.
So it seems I've won the Twitter Yapper of the Year award for a second year in a row, which I am very pleased with. Thank you to everyone who voted for me. We had a really strong start to the year with a lot to complain about when TPCI changed the tournament structure and removed a bunch of rounds. and also Reggie Drago V-Star was dominating everything. But then things kind of stayed the same for a while, and I took a little break from playing in tournaments, and that meant less to talk about in general. But towards the end of the season, we got the Miracle Badoo, which saved the game in my eyes. And then rotation happened, and things got even better. And I've really been enjoying playing the game lately, so there's been a lot to praise, really, with some of the things that have been happening in the scene. TPCI has been listening to changes. They're giving us a round back for the next season, making some other changes that might not be as good, but hopefully they'll listen to us when we give our feedback. But there's one thing that is sure to make next year more exciting for anyone who likes me complaining. The 3 prize Pokemon are back, so there's a lot to talk about with those, and I'm sure next year is going to top this one as far as the complaints go. So look forward to that. Hopefully everything goes well, but we'll see.
All right. Thank you, Jake, for that lovely speech. It's very heartfelt. But guys, here's the thing. We didn't think that Jake was the only Yapper. So we decided, what if we made a new award called the Breakout Yapper of the Year, so that we don't give it to Jake every year. And the recipient of the Breakout Yapper of the Year, and Kieran, your wish came true. Yone is the winner of the Breakout Yapper of the Year. So we can watch Yone's speech right here.
Hi everyone, it's Yone, or otherwise known as Yone Pachi on Twitter. I wanted to give a huge thank you to Aneil and Kieran for nominating me alongside Jake Gearhart and Austin Charles for Yapper of the Year. It has been an amazing first year in the Pokemon community, and I'm excited for many more memories to come. In the spirit of rethinking our memories, I wanted to go ahead and share some of my favorite moments with my nominated counterparts, Austin and Jake. Now, Jake and I have not interacted much over the year, but my favorite memory is this tweet here, where he made sure to let us know that the classic TCG funk typically is around bottom tables. And then Austin Charles, who calls me lovingly his unemployed friend. Again, thank you to Kieran and Aneil. Even though I did not win the major title, Breakout Yapper of the Year works just as well. Polly and I are very excited to accept. And again, congratulations to all the winners.
Thank you, Yone. Much appreciated. The first recipient of the Breakout Yapper of the Year.
Yeah,
Kieran,
Neil,
any thoughts?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if you saw it, Neil, but I didn't realize how desired the Yapper of the Year award was going to be. Like, I was looking on Twitter. So it feels only right that we kind of have this type of award. We have the Rookie of the Year. I feel like Pokemon's like as a community, like, we love Twitter, we love yapping. There's always your drama. So I feel like this is like a perfect award to add to the collection of awards we have every year. And I don't know, I think it's just like a fun award to have. So I think next year, guys. Yep. This might be the most prestigious award to go for. Like, who cares about MVP? I think Yapper of the Year and Breakout Yapper of the Year are the 2 most important awards to go for. So excited to have them on the ballot.
100%. I think, and like, I had to issue like an official shift gear apology to Blitzel because he was like, I thought I did a good job yapping this year, and y'all didn't even recognize me. And like, fair enough.
The snub list was long. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. I honestly think there were some huge snubs. We're just 2 people. I don't know. We're 2 people with a fun award show. And actually, we should mention this. Azul's not serious. We need to throw that out there. Azul's not serious. This guy was supposed to be on the podcast with us doing this Shift Gear award show, and he flopped to go hang out with Chip. So what does that mean for uncommon energy? I don't know. I'll let y'all decide. Azul, it's all love, bro. But you gotta show up for the shifties, man. Come on.
Or just bringing this up randomly. I mean, Azul got a lot of nominations for Yapper of the Year too. Leader of the Rat Pack. So that's what I said. There's so many good people who could win.
I'm trying to keep him on his toes. I really like the guy. I'm just trying to keep him on his toes. So make sure he's watching the shifties.
I think he's watching the shifties, and he's a big supporter.
Reached out pretty fast. I think people like the award show thing, and when the NBA award show comes, we're gonna get more ideas, and we're gonna wish we did this more than once a year. But for now, All right, on to the next award. We've yapped for long. Maybe we should win damn Yapper of the Year, man.
I think so.
That's
too.
literally what we do for a living. All right, next up we got the Rookie of the Year. So Kieran, I'll let you introduce this one.
Yeah, so this award is given to a first-year Master player who had an extraordinary season. So the only people eligible are first-year Masters. Last year we had Vinny Fernandez win the award, and this year the nominees we had also from Brazil we had Giovanni Sasso, the current number 1 LATAM player. From Europe we had Daniel Magda, also the number 1 European ranked player. And from North America we had Owen Dalgard and Benjamin Hebert. All of them have had fantastic seasons. Ben has had, I think, 3 top cuts or 2 top cuts. He got top 4 at Worlds last year as well in the senior division, so he's aged up tremendously. Owen Dalgard went on a crazy streak, 3 top cuts to end the season. Daniel Magda is number 1 in Europe, and he has 2 top cuts at internationals this year, which I find crazy impressive. And then Giovanni has 4 top cuts at regionals, including a win, including being number 1 on the LATAM leaderboard. So honestly, I say like a great year for the rookies. They've gotten the top spot on 2 of the leaderboards, which is not easy to do when you're competing against some like very established players. So very strong class, rookie class, 2020, 2025
guys, just for my own peace of mind and to show you guys how I get censored on the Shift Gear podcast, I wanted to name this Ute of the Year, but I was overruled by the Grandmaster.
I don't think I vetoed that one. I think you guys said you could call it Ute.
I'm just giving you a hard time. I want to name it Ute of the Year. I thought it'd be so hilarious, so on brand. So the Rookie / Ute of the Year. Opening the official envelope that I just made like 4 seconds ago before we started recording. And I ripped these out of my notebook, by the way. These are not official papers. We have Daniel Magda. Congratulations. And part of the problem of the whole like Twitter thing is when a man doesn't have Twitter, we don't know how the hell to get a hold of him. So I don't know if we have a speech from Daniel Magda or not. I don't think we do.
I don't think we do. But Daniel, if you want to send in a speech to us later, if you see this, please feel free. I'll put it in one of the Shift Gear episodes.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I think Daniel, like, my vote was between him and Giovanni. I don't think you could go like wrong either way. This was actually the hardest one for me to vote on, I think. I think for me, Daniel, it pushes him over the edge a little bit, is that he got top cut at 2 internationals. I think that's incredibly difficult to do, especially in the same season. It's a very short list of players who have made 2 top cuts internationals in Masters, right? Like over their whole careers. And to do it in your rookie season, I think is just crazy impressive. So, I mean, Giovanni also, I think his start to the season was insane. It was something like first, second, like top 4, like within the first like 3 months of the year. So I think in almost any other year he would have probably won. But this year, just Daniel had too strong of a season. So congratulations to Daniel.
Yeah, shout out the Utes. I don't really have a vote. I was like, I don't know. I didn't even think about this one. We had good rookie seasons, you and I, when we both aged up. I feel like there's something like to it. We're coming out of seniors. It's almost a breath of fresh air to go into Masters. You get like the guys at the top are obviously a lot better, but I feel like the average player you play is probably a little bit easier than what you see in seniors, just because of like the concentration of it. So, shout out to the Utes of the Year, all of them. But shout out to Daniel, and if we get an acceptance speech, we'll be sure to put that in there. All right, coming up next, we got the Deck of the Year. We're going rapid firing now, all right? The Deck of the Year comprised of quite obviously the Deck of the Year. It's like, what was the deck that stood out over the other ones throughout the whole calendar year? And I think a lot of people were able to predict this one quite well. But yeah, Kieran, do you have anything else you want to say about the Deck of the Year?
Yeah, I'll go through the nominees. We put Gardevoir, Dragapult, and Regidrago as our 3 nominees. I think Regidrago dominated the first maybe like third of the season. It felt like we couldn't go a tournament without like 5 Regidragos in top cut. But it was, like Gardevoir was hanging in there. I think this Henry Chow just willing Gardevoir to some victories in that Regidrago infested meta. And I think post-rotation, it's been clear that Gardevoir has been like the dominant deck. I think Dragapult is also like a strong nominee. I think the first half of the year before rotation, I wouldn't say the deck was like crazy strong. I think once we got Bidoof, the deck definitely like became tier 1. And I think it's been battling with Gardevoir for that top spot post-rotation. But it hasn't had the sustained success across the whole year. So all, I think, worthy decks. We had a lot of write-ins for some other ones. Raging Bolt got a lot of write-ins. I saw a lot of people wrote in Lugia, which I don't know if we can give it to Lugia if it wasn't there for the whole year. We had Cloth Electrode Aneil. I saw someone write that in.
My favorite one? Some dude wrote in Bradley Moore. I don't know who or what that is.
Bradley Moore, Deck of the Year.
Shout out Bradley Moore, man. I almost wanted to give it to Bradley Moore, Deck of the Year. We had 1,143 responses, okay? And the deck that won by an absolute landslide.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
80.2%. It was not close. And with that, I shall introduce to you the deck of the year, Gardevoir. Shocking, yes. Thank you, Gardevoir. Great job.
And
We have something for this, don't we?
Yes. So I know a player didn't win Gardevoir, but it didn't feel right to not have Henry Chow speak on behalf of Gardevoir and accept the award for it. So here is Henry Chow accepting Deck of the Year on behalf of Gardevoir EX.
Yeah, what's going on, everyone? I'm here on behalf of Gardevoir EX, Monkey Dory, Refinement Curlia, and Iono to collect the Deck of the Year award. So recently, people have kind of figured out that Gardevoir is a really, really broken deck. It's won like 70 to 80% of the regs since rotation, and it's probably going to be in contention as one of the best decks in Pokemon TCG history, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I'll just give a bit of a recap of Gardevoir throughout the year, because despite it being really good in these recent months, it's actually been really good throughout the season. So it sort of started out with Baltimore in Regidrago format. People were really timid on playing Gardevoir during Regidrago format. It didn't really have a great showing at Worlds. I personally went 1-3 with it. But the lists were really, really underdeveloped. So for Baltimore, this was like the discovery of Secret Box. So I played this like really turbo Gardevoir deck with a bunch of Bravery Charms, no mana fee, some rare candies, and the Secret Box. And this deck was really cool. It just tried to like threaten one-shotting their Drago over and over again and really like stretch their resources if they tried to cure him, as opposed to like trying to protect against it. This deck was really, really fun, and I won our eggs with it. And then we even like had this money match against Andrew Hedrick, Isaiah Brader, and Michael Davidson. All people who won major events this year, by the way, after this money match. We 4-1 them, and despite all of this, no one wanted to really take this deck seriously. It was at like 4 or 5% in the months after this. I played it to Louisville and LASC. It had like decent results, but this deck was pretty good, but it was fairly disrespected. But then as the season went on into like Toronto and San Antonio and like the winter months and some of the EU regionals, we sort of figured out a way to build the slow Gardevoir deck to still have an okay Regidrago matchup. And this was like made it even better because the slow deck had like an even better Raging Bolt matchup, a better Charizard matchup. It was just, because you just had more Monkey Dories, right? So this deck was really, really good. I won San Antonio, I top cut Toronto, and I think there was definitely a fair amount of success for Gardevoir throughout this format. But still like maybe trailing Regidrago a little bit. And then Budu came out, which sort of gatekept Drago. And then Gardevoir had like not a great EUIC. I didn't play it for some godforsaken reason, and I apologize for that. But then we ended up finding a really, really broken list for this format as well. That was for Stockholm, which I really wanted to register for on like 2 days notice, but unfortunately the event was capped. But luckily Bradner managed to win the tournament pretty easily with my list there. So pretty much for every format, if given enough time, a really, really broken Gardevoir list that beats the entire format will arise. But maybe on like those early tournaments, we can't quite figure it out in time. And this sort of persisted after rotation. I mean, I won Atlanta with this Zoroark Guardy deck, which was like actually just a horrible deck, but that just kind of shows how broken Gardevoir is, that even if there's like 2 cards with like very little synergy and the Zoroark is just like a huge liability, despite all of this, it's still good enough to win regionals. But then as that format progressed, we finally got to this like Rabska Guardy deck, which was absolutely bananas and pretty much 100-0'd the whole format. And then lastly, we had NAIC, where we had this like Super Monkey Dory version that kind of beat everything as well. So Gardevoir just like Gardevoir and Monkey Dory together just have so much fundamental strength that if you have enough time to figure out the meta, you'll always find a way to pretty much beat every deck in the format with it. So this deck is absolutely amazing, and it's an extremely well-deserved deck of the year.
All right, Henry, thank you so much for accepting the award for Gardevoir. On our break, while we were watching that, I remember last year when I dressed up as a Buddy Poffin, and I put 2 loaves of bread on my forehead, and I then had crumbs in my hair for the rest of the award show. So, Henry, we appreciate you embodying Gardevoir for what it's worth, and not making me do it, because it would not have ended well. All right, Kieran, next up, we got the card of the year. So this is basically just the card that kind of stood out the most, what you find to be not necessarily OP, but a very strong card all over the board. A card we discussed quite frequently on this podcast, and something that we thought maybe went over the head of the game designers a little bit. So anything else, Kieran, to entry this award here?
Yeah, I think once I say the nominees, you guys will pick out which one won right away.
Yeah.
But I'll go through the nominees. We had Badoo. I think probably the biggest game-changing card that we received this season for sure. Completely, I think, warped how decks were built, how the game was played once it came out in Prismatic. We had Unfair Stamp. I think for a long time, like all the Stage 2 decks, the default was Unfair Stamp. There's been tons of games decided this year just based off of the Unfair Stamp. We have Secret Box, which I think Henry Chow definitely showed off the power of the card with his initial Baltimore winning Guardy list. And we kind of just seen the card just popping up everywhere. Jackson Ford started playing in Charizard. We were seeing it in like aggro decks. Grimmsnarl started playing the card. So it's been everywhere. Then our final nominee is Monkey Dory. Obviously Gardevoir's partner in crime, but also a card that we've seen work its way into many decks. Grimmsnarl, Dragonbolt's been playing the card even. Any deck, honestly, like we saw Charizard starting to play Monkey Dory. Just a lot of decks starting to play Monkey Dory. So those were our nominees. Aneil,
Yes.
do you want to unveil which of these cards is our card of the year?
I really wanted to impersonate the card that won, but I couldn't do it without getting us in a lot of trouble.
Oh my god.
So here we are. We got the winner right here. And I also want to shout out, sorry, before we continue, we have Bradley Moore coming in as a 1 vote right at the end of this as well. So whoever Bradley Moore is, I don't know if you voted for yourself or one of your boys voted for you, but Bradley Moore is on all of these. So shout out Bradley Moore, got 1 vote for card of the year. We got Monkey Dory.
Yeah, this again wasn't close. Even more of a landslide than Gardevoir.
87%.
Yeah. So
voted Monkey Dory.
I mean, I think Monkey Dory is one of those cards that was a little underrated when it came out, but I think everyone like understood the power of it like after that first initial like NISE with it. But I think like even like we still kept underrating it, you know? Like we were like 1 monkey in Gardevoir, then it was 2, then everyone's playing 3. And now like NISE it's 4 monkeys and an E-switch, right?
Yeah.
So it's like if you could play 5 monkeys in your deck, would we start seeing decks with 5 Monkey Dories? Maybe. I don't know.
Why not?
But I mean, just like a crazy year for Monkey Dory. I think it's been a card that's kind of warped the game. I think a lot of matchups have come down to Monkey Wars, and it is a fairly skill-based card that I think promotes lots of planning ahead, alternate ways of playing, not wanting to damage your opponent. So I think not only is it a card of the year, but I think it's also like a healthy card for the game if we're gonna have one that's as impressive as Monkey.
Yeah, I concur. I think it's I don't know. It's one of those cards where you will look back on this one day and we'll realize like how insane this card really was. But it's good. It's not like an impressive card. Nobody hates Monkey Dory, I don't think. Like people generally dislike it, but no.
There was one Aneil nomination that said ban Monkey Dory. So someone does hate
Monkey Dory. Okay, but people are also saying ban Badoo, man.
Yeah.
People want to ban anything. They'd want to ban us too. But shout out to Monkey Dory. That's a fantastic card and won by an absolute landslide. So up next, we have a fun one. Not like super fun. It's not that jokes, but it's a fun one in the sense of you guys got to choose from some pretty good things here. We have the best stream moment of the year. There are 4 options we had on here, and we let the floor kind of be open as well for if anyone had any other suggestions. We got a lot of suggestions, all right. So this basically was encapsulated by the idea, like, all right, what was the one moment of the year that kind of, or what moment in a game that kind of defined what Pokemon stream is like, what defined like Pokemon as a whole, and big turning point, TSN turning point, that kind of thing. So we had some good entries. We had Henry Chow rips Candy Gardevoir. We have Riley McKay goes for the tactical pass. We have Henry Brand lets his Terapagos get knocked out, and we have Aneil sacks Crispin to beat Rowan. Which
that was a little dicey to be on the ballot. I don't know if I'd put that as my 4th, but that was a very
shouldn't even be there.
Big moment for the Shift Gear podcast. I think it had to be on there.
I just think it's hilarious. That's my only reason why I like it there. We also had a lot of honorable mentions.
There was one write-in that we kept getting.
There's one write-in we kept getting, and I'm like going through it right now, and I'm counting like, oh man, there's a lot. There's like 9 or no, there's like 20 people like wrote in for this. Ian Robb rolling his dice on stream got a lot of fan votes. So Ian Robb, you're a celebrity around these parts. So congratulations for all the write-ins. Kieran, any context you want to provide to any of these? Anything else you want to say before I reveal the winner?
Sure. I mean, I think this one was the hardest one for you and I to like get the nominees for because we watch and like we're very in tune with a lot of Pokemon. But like I don't watch like every single stream game, so I'm sure that we missed like a lot of like good moments. Like one we got a lot was like the coin flip in Toronto. Some of them were like, oh, there's these sick top decks that you and I missed, but I kind of just picked out some that like stuck out to me. Like they kind of got to the mainstream, like where like I know for sure these ones. I think Henry Chow ripping that Candy plus Guardy off of the research against Hedrick was just like an iconic moment, like the theatrics of it after the improbability winning the third. I think Riley's is fresh in everyone's mind, like just such a great play, like under pressure against debatably the GOAT. And there's been a lot of analysis and talk about it, I think, in the community as well. Just a really cool play where it's just like, like this is like a young kid, like with his breakout moment, like taking down one of the greatest to ever do it, like with like such a great play. The Henry Brand one is just one I remembered. Like I made a YouTube video on it. I think I linked it in the balance people would see. I just thought that was a sick play, like in the moment, like, so I'm like, that's the type of thing, like I think this award is also for, is just like highlighting like sick plays. Like if I made like a, like ESPN or SportsCenter, like at the end of the year, like always during like Christmas time, I would always love watching like top 10 plays of the year. So like that one kind of embodied to me. And then Aneil sacking Rowan is just Aneil sacking Rowan to make top cut, his first top cut. Just a shift gear moment. That's a top 10 play for the shift gear. Yeah, those are some context there for why those all made.
Appreciate that. Yeah. So those are the main ones that stuck out aside from like the random Ian Rob entries. There wasn't anything else that was huge on the list that I really want to touch on. So we can get right into it. So the winner of the stream moment of the year is Riley McKay. Congratulations, Riley. That was I remember watching that the first time too, and I was like, that was kind of nuts what just happened here. And I remember going on Twitter and people were trying to explain it like to others who didn't see it, and they literally couldn't. They're like, there's no way to explain what I just watched because it was so like crazy, right? Like people didn't even know how to really relate to those who didn't see it. So it was one of those like, if you were there kind of moments. And that is a big one. Now, obviously there's probably some recency bias to that, and we can be completely open about that, but that's a big moment, man. And I think that was a very well deserved winner.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the other thing is like understanding the time rules as well. That's something that most players don't get to practice much. But yeah, like Riley, like 20 years from now when he's talking to his kids, he's gonna be like, this is his career highlight, or maybe he'll make more, but it'll definitely be on the highlight reel. So congrats to Riley,
100%.
well deserved.
100%. So now, this is where it gets fun. My personal favorite award that we made up last year, and I forget who won. I think Simon Luong won last year.
He did win last year for a good reason.
Yeah. So this is like my baby. I love this thing. The Griefer of the Year. So under the forum, we said it's a jokes award. We can nominate your friends and explain why they're complete griefers. Best story wins. Please DM submissions. So a lot of people DM submissions. A lot of people told me about submissions, but a lot of people responded in the poll. Now we got some good ones in the poll. So here's the other thing about Griefer of the Year. There's so many good griefers that it's hard to really just pick one, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to tell some of our favorite entries, okay? Some of our favorite stories. I'm going to default first to my friend Dalton Cross. This is a great entry, okay? He wants to nominate Ian Robb for Griefer of the Year, and it's not for the reason you think. So a few guys from our B&B decided to get Starbucks before day one of Atlanta. Ian was put in charge of getting the Uber from Starbucks to the convention center, but he put in the wrong address. The three of them get to the center well after the round started, and they had to run to their tables. Charlie Lockyer, Justin Stites end up being too late to their tables. They each get a round loss. And they had to go to the Hive and re-entered into the tournament because Bro sent the Starbucks to the wrong place. Ian shows up to his table a few seconds before the 10-minute limit and just completely 2-0s his opponent. So that's a fun one for me. I think Ian is quite a griefer for that. And you have a good one too for that, actually.
That's why Simon won last year for like actually almost the exact same scenario.
Yeah, I forgot about that connection. Y'all making each other late is going pretty good. So we had a good one. We had a few good ones here. Yona Pachi, because she always believed in Hydrapple. Henry Chow playing Dengo to UIC, biggest grief of the history in the game. You know it. Henry Chow lost owning multiple invites. It's just Pokeduels. This isn't a question. We got a lot of good ones in here. Austin Charles for yapping so much. New Orleans humidity. Let's see what else we got.
Grant Manley, unluckiest player. We had a couple for that one.
That's a great one.
Legendary
John N by a
rants.
ton.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of good stuff in here. Some stuff, like a lot of stuff I can't say.
Yeah, too many that we don't want to read out loud.
There's some crazy stuff y'all sent in here. Someone sent like a full story about some guy named Kenny Hernandez. It's like a full story in here. LaBelster's winners interview. That's a good one too.
Reverse Shadow Zig.
Yeah, this
that
is my
first
stream
moment
favorite.
of the year. Sorry, go for it.
No, you're good. You're good. I don't even know if I can say this one. Whatever. I'm gonna say it.
I have to edit this out after.
Yeah, just the way it was said kills me. So this person says nothing besides my testing partner for impregnating his GF. I shall not name him. That's it. That was the whole entry. It's like, what does this have to do with anything we were saying?
Well, because now he can't test with his friend because his friend has to go be a dad, like take care of his wife
Alright,
through
fair
pregnancy, which probably takes priority over testing Pokemon. So maybe
See,
you're
like,
the
oh.
grief for the year for submitting that, actually, and not caring about your
Yeah.
friend and his wife.
Like, you should be happy for your boy, right? Like, your boy's having a kid. That's sick. I want to give a reverse shout out to Charles Ames for having a kid. It actually kind of ruined my life too. There's another guy named maybe I shouldn't say his name, but he apparently urinated in the hotel's bathtub when he couldn't find the toilet. That's another entry.
Wait, in the bathtub? Bro, is that in
In the
your room?
bathtub.
How do you not just find the toilet in your bathroom?
Yeah, I don't know how you don't find the toilet. I don't even know what the hell that means, but he's having a hard time finding the toilet. So without further ado, we'll reveal what the actual winner is. This should be a surprise to nobody, but we have a winner.
I think
Clear
it'll be a
winner.
surprise to when you read
You think so?
It won't be.
I wasn't surprised.
Okay.
Henry Chow from last owning like a cajillion invites. So shout out to Henry Chow. Almost ruined a lot of people's seasons by accident. All the 700 pointers were quaking in their boots for that one. But yeah, shout out to Henry Chow. And we have a very nice acceptance speech right here.
Yo, what's going on? Apparently, I won this award called Griefer of the Year, courtesy of Kieran and Aneil. Apparently, this is due to me lost zoning some of the invites here. So, my bad for that one. I don't really know why the system works like that. Like, why is there a special exception when someone wins multiple regionals that in particular lost zones invites? But my bad, guys. My bad, guys. Luckily, I did see on Twitter today that they let like the 5 or 6 people who were tied for 700 CP all into Worlds. So, seems like NA still managed to come out like above expectations for Worlds participants. So, let's go. NA proud. We're winning Worlds, baby.
All right, thank you, Henry, for another speech. So yeah, I mean, like you were saying, Neil, if Henry would have won Portland Regionals, all those people at 700 championship points actually would have missed Worlds.
Yep.
So he was almost like even more of a griefer. But
Bro's moving like Shay right now with all these awards,
too
bro.
many
He's
awards,
got like,
bro. He's too good.
yeah. Shout out SGA. We never did that on this episode yet. Our Canadian boy. You don't want to shout out SGA?
I mean, shout out SGA, but not shout out the Thunder, bro.
I know you don't rate the Thunder, but like, bro, like that's our Canadian GOAT. He's already the greatest Canadian player of all time, in my opinion.
Over Steve Nash, my boy Steve Nash, 2-time MVP.
Dude, look at the accolades.
I know,
man.
you're
Look at
right.
the
It is
accolades.
Shay.
So shout out Shay and Lou Dort, the pride of North Montreal, pride of Haiti. That's our boy as well, and Benny Matherin, and even Andrew Nemhard on the other side. Hey guys, the Canadians are coming. As much as you guys
want to hear
don't
something
like
cool? And you know what? Some of the kicks that Andrew Nemhart was wearing in the finals were provided by our boy Mike Nato, Big Money in HD.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. So shout out
Mike Nato.
Yeah,
I met Andrew Nemhard like 3 times. He used to come to my workplace a lot. Yeah.
Oh.
So I met him. He used to train at the place I used to work with, university. So I met him a few times. Super nice guy. But yeah, shout out Mike Nato for providing the kicks. That's kind of elite.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll let you walk in our next award. This is a very pinnacle award, one we don't give out very often. So go ahead.
Yes. So we wanted to create, I guess, a new award, and we're calling it the Historical Excellence Award. That we're not going to hand out every year at the Shifties. We want this to be one of the most prestigious awards you can win. And it's just given to an individual when they do something like truly exceptional or historical that we either haven't seen ever or just haven't seen in a long time. Or just doesn't have to be for playing, just anything like historical. So this year we wanted to give it to Gabriel Fernandez for his calendar slam, winning all 3 ICs. Just an incredible season that will probably never be matched in any age division. And just like, I've talked to him a couple times, made some videos with him. Just the way the kid talks about the game, it's just like he sees the game at a different level. He's truly like, I think, like the best prodigy we've ever seen, or like the best prospect in the history of the game.
Super flag type
right?
beat.
Yeah, like I was talking on Twitter with some people, it's kind of like comparing him to like really high school LeBron, like levels of hype, that this kid is going to have. I think we're all expecting great things for him as he, goes to Masters next year. And he was nominated for MVP this season as well, which is insane. Like a senior player getting nominated for MVP. So yeah, congratulations to Gabriel. Just a fantastic season. And he has a speech for us to accept the award.
Thank you for the Historical Excellence Award. I mean, winning 3 ICs, amazing season, heading to Worlds now. And I want to shout out me, myself, and I. And congratulations to everyone who got an award as well.
Thank you, Gabe, for that speech. Much appreciated. Always nice to when people aren't slackers at the shifties and actually send in their damn speeches on time. Makes for a really nice video. Thanks, Gabe. Appreciate you being on top of things and not procrastinating. He's like it reminds me of like vintage Connor McDavid. Oh my god, Connor McDavid, if I could speak. In the OHL, or sorry, in the AHL. I forget where he played first, but he was putting up like 2 points a game. Like you can kind of tell that kid is on another level, and like you see it in all sports and all kind of places where some people just develop faster than others. And I have no doubt he's going to be a menace in the Masters division as well. So.
Yeah, and last year we had Vinny Fernandez win Rookie of the Year, sending a speech. Now back-to-back years, the Fernandez brothers winning awards at the Shifties. He loves to
crazy, man, crazy. That family is doing pretty good for themselves. They're going to have a bunch of Bugattis driving around real soon. All right. So now we can move on to the Rogue Deck of the Year. This is an award given out to the deck that... This was a really tough one for us because it's like, what defines a deck as Rogue? And normally by the time you've heard about a deck, it's no longer Rogue. And I guess it is, but for the first little while, it is, and then it turns non-rogue. So an example of that this last year was like Cloth, right? So we had Cloth in for a bit. Cloth was kind of a joke for a while. Then Cloth did it did well, and then it did well again. And then suddenly it became like a kind of mainstream meta deck, and that's kind of how it went. So we try to go back and try to give some examples of some potential rogue decks. So some examples we came up with, like Cloth, Toadscruel, Ogremon, Noivern was a good one. Bayonet, Gouging Fire was probably voted by Pokemari. He's probably the only one who put it there. But shout out to him. And like a bunch of other stuff. There's a whole bunch of random rogue decks that people wrote in for, and I think there's a lot of good cases. Even Eevee, I thought was at one point a rogue deck, but that one didn't get a whole lot of nominations. And at the end, without a doubt, Bradley Moore Charizard.
Oh, there's a deck this time.
Yeah, before he was a deck, now he has a deck, and they're completely different things. So Kieran, any context you want to provide to this?
Yes, I think actually for this award, I actually have to issue an apology to a good friend of the podcast, Pokehive, Andres, for omitting his Power Glass Roaring Moon deck with Greninja.
Right.
That was a fantastic deck. That just completely slipped our minds when we were making the ballot. I think Tim Danklin even got second at a regional in Australia with it as well. That would be a strong contender for my Rogue Deck of the Year. Apologies for not including that deck. But yeah, I think kind of like you were saying, it's kind of hard to classify Rogue decks. Like I don't think Cloth itself was like that Rogue, but I think Cloth Terrapagos was a massive innovation on the deck. That took it from like Rogue to like I think real contender. I mean, it won a UIC actually this year. So a couple of players, California players, really innovated that at Sacramento Regionals. I think Toadscruel, that's probably a late innovation in the game. Obviously, that's a Ray Chen's deck. They got top cut at Portland and then top cut at NAIC. Just a fantastic late season run with a deck I think no one ever took seriously. And then we threw in like Banette there. I think Banette at the start of the season was like one of those like spooky decks, to use a pun. Like people were, Mateus was the main player doing it in Poland, making some top cuts with it. And then it had a little bit of a run, honestly, where we were seeing it, especially in Europe, like making top cuts consistently. And then we also had that cornerstone Ogrepon Noivern deck that at Baltimore did really well. Tons of players were on that deck, tons of them in the top cut or in the top 32, top 64 in the money. One of them in top cut unfortunately ran into me on Lugia, probably the deck's like worst matchup. But that was just like another really cool innovation. So rogue decks are really cool. It's especially in the modern era of the game. I think we always talk about how much harder it is to innovate with Limitless, with so much being known. But whenever someone does like come up with some new ideas, I think it's fantastic to see. So love this award. So Aneil, do you want to tell us who is the winner of Rogue Deck of the Year?
Cloth Terrapagos.
Nice.
Shocker to everyone. Shout out to Cloth. Like you said, like kind of one of those decks that was like it needed a little bit of help, right? And it got a new iteration. I think that's kind of what pushed it over the edge. And I think Cloth was really cool. I think a lot of people were really happy to see it do well. And it wasn't really like one of those decks that was toxic in any way. It was just a kind of fun rogue deck that hit hard. So I don't have a whole lot more to say about that, but shout out to Cloth.
Yep, agreed with that. Precious Trolley, Area Zero, really cool rogue deck. All right.
Absolutely.
Next award,
All right.
Aneil.
Next award, this one's really cool. We got the Breakout Player of the Year. So this is given to a player who has been in Masters before. Kind of not. We don't want to say that this person was ever bad, but definitely like wasn't at the level that they are now. They kind of had a big breakout season. I forget what the NBA equivalent of this is.
It would be like most improved players, kind of like the The
Oh, is
vibe, I
that
would
literally
say.
what it's called? There's no
Yeah.
like fancy name to it.
Yeah, it's like the one Siakam's won, Jimmy Butler's
Oh, Scott
won,
won that one.
Steph Curry I think
Yeah.
might have won that one year. So yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's kind of basically like you've taken the leap to like star player is kind of like the
All right,
spirit of this award.
Who wins it this year for the NBA?
For the NBA? They already did it.
Did they?
Who won? I forget who won.
When were the awards?
They
Was
don't
it
do
last
the
week?
award show anymore for NBA.
Oh, that's why I didn't see it.
Yeah.
NHL still does award shows.
Yeah, who won this year? Oh, it was Dyson Daniels. That's right, from the Hawks.
All right, that's fair.
yeah.
Hawks made a huge trade today too for Porzingis, so
I did see that.
and we got to touch on that later. A lot of crazy stuff going on. Anyways, so breakout player, yeah, could be anybody that has maybe been in the dark before and now is kind of coming to the light. So there's a lot of good responses for this one. I gotta get it up on my screen here. Sorry, where the hell is it? Here we go. A lot of good entries. We have Ryuki, which is a great one. Callie White, Oyvind, Ray Chen, Henry Chow, Abon. A lot of good. I don't know why someone put Isaiah Bradner in here. Caleb Rogerson, that's a really good one as well. Isaiah Williams, that guy's been playing longer since I've been alive, so I don't understand that one either. Aneil for his first top 8. Okay, I respect that one. I like that. Vincent Owen, that's a good one as well. Yeah, we got some different ones in here. And Bradley Moore, right at the end, right where he belongs. So Kieran, thoughts? Who did you vote for? First of all.
I voted for Callie. I think, Callie's someone who I didn't know who she was before this year. And she's Canadian, so I feel like she definitely should have been my radar, right? And just went on a tear. Second place Toronto, top 4 San Antonio. I think she made ASIM at one other tournament. And just, finished in the top 16. I think it topped the Canadian leaderboard this year, if I'm not mistaken. I have to double check that. But yeah, just, Canada is such a competitive region. We always boast about that, brag about how great Canada is. And just, cementing yourself as one of Canada's greats now. Debatably our best player this year. I think just came out of nowhere. Just really impressed with the season Callie's had. We had her on the shift gear to kind of talk about her journey to becoming a top player. So I think going forward, that's definitely a name that everyone's going to look out for. And I'm expecting, her to be competing for top cuts for years to come now.
Yeah. Mine would have to be Jamal Williams. I don't even know if he played in AIC, but if he did, it's got to be Jamal Williams.
I think he was there.
Yeah, I know he was there. I don't know if he played though.
No, he didn't play. He just showed up and talked, I think.
All right, well, he's still my breakout player of the year. I'm just trying to get him to come on the podcast. That's the dog. Anyways, so breakout player of the year. Here we go.
Well, do you want me to talk about the other nominees or no? We'll just talk about my vote.
No, I don't. I want Jamal Williams.
Okay, true.
There's nothing more. There's nothing more to it. Is Jamal Williams or Charles Ames for leading the play points leaderboards while having a kid? It's one of the two. And Charles Ames is owed $100 from Jake Dadton because they made a bet on who'd have the most points at the end of the year. And Jake Dadton said, "Yo, Charles, you're having a kid. I'm gonna beat your ass." And then he got 0 points. So, shout out to those guys. I know none of y'all know who that is, but just trust. Just trust. It's a good story. The winner is Callie White. Congratulations, Callie. Very well deserved. Breakout player of the year from Canada, one of our homegrowns, and we will have the speech right here.
Hello, everyone. I'm told that I won the award for the Breakout Star of the Year, so that's really cool. Just wanted to talk a little bit about how my season went, I guess. So I really was trying to get a breakout result. Last season, I had 5 for 5 on day 2s, but really had no stellar finishes. But this season I got a stipend to LAIC, so I went there and then got my first cash. Then we followed it up with a solid back-to-back top cuts at Toronto and San Antonio. But then I had a bit of a shaky end season, but we still got the top cut at Portland. And I'm just really hoping next season I'm gonna push to get the win. So thank you everyone for voting me as the breakout star of the year. And thank you to everyone that helped me test and etc. It means a lot. A shout out to the other contestants that got mentioned as well, Ryuki and Audrivin. They're both very good players. I also want to thank my goat, Terapagos. We got him here. Got me top 4 at San Antonio. I know I'm no more for Drago, but Terapagos is definitely my favorite deck I've ever played. So yeah, we got the goat here. And thank you so much. Bye!
All right, thanks, Callie, for that. Congrats again on a fantastic season. She beat a couple other great players there. We had Ryuki. I think Ryuki was hard for us to judge because I think it's we don't know his Japanese accomplishments, but he did fantastic in the West this year. So I don't know, it kind of might go against the spirit of the award because he might be a star in Japan, but definitely made a name for himself in the West. Someone else that I think I debated putting on the ballot that I didn't end up putting is Henry Chow. It just felt like he kind of went against the spirit of the award. You know, he's competing for MVP. He got top 8 at NAIC last year, but definitely someone who went from like, you know, competitive players probably know this guy as the guy who made like the Monkey Devo Guardy tube. Like, he's just a household name. He's one of the best players in the game now. So yeah, very competitive award. I think this one could have gone either way, but congrats again to Kelly. So, all right, our next award is the 60 of the year. So this is different than deck of the year. So deck of the year is for like the archetype. 60 of the year is for the 60 card deck list that had the biggest impact during the season. That can be either like the longest limitless page with the most people playing it. It could be, you know, the most innovative deck. So we had a couple nominees for this one. We had the Brixty, Brent Tonnison's Gardevoir that he won Monterey Regionals with. We had Vinny Fernandez, Slow Pult, that he played at EUIC. Then we had James Cox, Regidrago, that he played to win. I'm blanking on what regional it was, but he used it to win a regional in Europe this year as well. And then we had a bunch of other like write-ins, but those were, I think, the three that really, I think, had the longest limitless pages or were the most influential, I think, during the season. So, Aneil, where did your vote go for this award?
Me personally, I went for Bradley Moore Charizard, but for whatever reason, it didn't make the list. I'm not too sure why. My actual vote went to Vinny for Slowpoke. I thought that deck was awesome and kind of like a different way to look at it. And it, obviously, I have a very weird personal attachment to it as well. And unfortunately, it's not 2023, so I can't vote for myself in Iron Hands. So here we are. And the 60 of the year goes to. This was a lot more epic last year. I had like bigger envelopes. I had like some laminated things. It's like kind of.
You're letting our viewers down, Aneil.
Yeah, I know. The Brixty. So, congratulations to Brent on the Brixty. Very well deserved. I thought this list caught fire. Like, so many people started playing this.
Did you count how many limitless? Yeah. Do you know how many entries there were on it, Aneil?
I'm scared to ask.
Give me a guess.
Like 70?
It might be more, to be honest.
That's insane. Like the same list, like not even a tinkered card.
Yeah, it's like it's around 70. Yeah, like exactly. Not even changing a card. Like normally when someone does well with a deck, like people will copy it, but like they'll change like 1 or 2 cards. But just like everyone just being like, all right, this is just a 60. We're playing it. I know Brent did a very successful masterclass with the deck as well. So maybe that's people were convinced by what he was saying. But just impressive. I mean, like this list also won like another regional. He actually won another one in Melbourne. I'm pretty sure it won a special event. So I don't know, just like insane performance by this list. This one was another award where I think like the votes were like overwhelming for this one. So, Brent also has a speech to accept this award. So we're gonna kick it over to Brent to accept the 60 of the year.
So I have the honor of taking the award for 60 of the year. The Brixty was more than just a deck list. It was a cultural revolution and a pivotal moment in my career. All I really want to say is thank you to everyone for your support.
Thank you very much for that speech. That was awesome. The Brixty classic. We'll always remember that one. So now, turning the page. This is our last official award. Time flies when you're having fun. It's like the Oscars. So it's pretty late. We need to get like a 3-hour time slot for this next year.
We need TPCI to hire us, bro, to run this officially.
I think we do too. Man. At the very least, you know those like influencers who get like those free boxes at the start of the sets. Yeah, plug up the Mandem, bro.
We need a sponsor. We have Endgame. Shout out Endgame, but we need like a marquee sponsor from TPCI.
Bro, all Endgame Man does to me is put on a shiesty and hit me with beef patties. That guy's not useful for anything. He makes good sleeves though. I will say he makes some blessed sleeves. So shout out Endgame Man.
Use code ShiftGear for 10% off.
Hell yeah, use code ShiftGear for 10% off. Because TPCI doesn't like us, so y'all got to. All right, MVP. This is our marquee award. This is for the MVP, most valuable player. Yeah, of the entire year. I don't think it needs much intro, but Karen, I'll let you kind of give us some background on this and who the nominees are.
Yeah, so our first nominee, we have Henry Chow. Just fantastic season. 3 regional wins and a second. And each time it feels like he innovated on Gardevoir every single time. The first time in Baltimore, he played Gardevoir when everyone thought the deck was like dead or bad because it had a perceived bad Regidrago matchup, and he innovated with that secret box build when almost everyone was playing Unfair Stamp. Just really innovative list. Took down Shift-Gear Zone, Kieran Fair in the finals to start his season there. Then San Antonio came again, a very hostile environment for Gardevoir, and he took down all the Regidragos again, just proving that Henry Chow diff. Then we went to Atlanta. rotation. Everyone thinks Gardevoir is dead. Refinement Curlia is gone. You know, going at that tournament, everyone thought Gardevoir's reign was over. Henry Shao wins it with the Zoroark Gardevoir. And basically, I think just starts the Gardevoir dominance post-rotation to kind of where we are at now. And then in Portland, again, innovating some more with Guardy and playing the Rabska Guardy, which retroactively looking at it might just be like no bad matchups besides like maybe like Golden Gold in that format. So just, I think for Henry, it's just like a combination of the play is just such high level when you watch him play, like just the understanding of the game and just the innovation, like when it comes to deck building. You know, some people might knock him for only playing one deck, but I think that's actually like kind of like even more impressive that he's able to take his deck, you know, and like navigate different formats and do well with it.
It's a different story if he's playing that one deck and the deck carries him, but you know he's carrying the
exactly,
deck, and
right?
people like will play his 60s and they won't get the same results.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
I was saying we won't talk about his EUIC where he abandoned Gardevoir. But just overall, fantastic season. You know, we talked about it when he won his third regional, but just that's a feat that's been done almost never, and I think he's one of the first. I think he might be the first player in the modern like post-COVID era to do it. So it's just such a hard thing to do with how big tournaments are now and how many sealed players there are. So it's another thing that we might not see for a while. Next up on the ballot, we had Brent Tonneson. We just gave him 60 of the year. Just another fantastic season from him. And do you know how much his earnings were this year?
I feel like I looked at this at one point. I'm gonna estimate like 40 G's.
$51,000 US. You know, that's a huge number to hit from Pokemon prize money in a year. He won multiple regionals. He won the Monterey regionals. He won Melbourne regionals on home soil. He got second at LAIC. I mean, a second at an IC is like nothing to scoff at. Like top cutting the ICs is just so hard, right? All the best players are there. He got top 4 at Birmingham regionals, and you know, going into NAIC, Aneil, his like best finish, like if he got a top 8 at a regionals, he wouldn't have gotten points. Like that's how good of a season this guy had.
Crazy.
Just like I think Brent to me is like the epitome of consistency. Like this guy just makes like almost every day too. He's always competing for cuts, always competing for wins. Just amazing player, year in year out.
51 grand. That's a lot of money. Shout out Pokemon for bumping that up. Can you imagine like before, like wasn't it like half or something like what they used to give
Some
out?
of them were like less than half. Yeah, like like ICs used to pay $1,500 for top 8. Now they give like $7,500, I think. Yeah. So like pretty big bump.
Bro, imagine doing all that and you made like 20 grand after the end of it. Like you're not even like you're barely above the poverty line. You're like the best Pokemon player in the world. You're below the poverty line at 20 grand. Best Pokemon player in the world. Shout out Metafy for carrying everyone's income, I guess.
Yeah. So just fantastic season for Brent. You know, he played a lot of Guardy, he played a lot of Drago, mixed it up a little bit in there with some Dragapult, Charchatot, and Pidgeot. And then our final nominee, Neil. It's kind of crazy to say that we have a senior division player nominated for most valuable player, but that's how impressive Gabriel Fernandez's season was this year. You know, I think everyone knows that he won all 3 ICs, but he also won every single LATAM regional that he went to. Right. His worst finish at a tournament this year was in San Antonio, where he finished top 8. Like, imagine your worst tournament finish at a major is a top 8. So he has 4 regional wins and the 3 IC wins. And like we said, he has the max amount of championship points available in a season, 2,460. That in combination with all the 3 ICs. It's just a season I don't think we'll ever see replicated, like we've all been saying. But just the fact that he's nominated as a senior is just incredible. And he'd be very well deserving if he wins the award.
You know, like, oh, well, you do. You know how crazy that is? Like, you know how much variance is in this game? Like, you've been playing this game as long as I have, right? You know how many ups and downs we've had, and like all the times you're like, oh, I bricked, I couldn't do anything about it. How the hell does that not happen once? Like, at some point, right? Like, that's incredible. Like, and it goes to show how good he is at just getting out of, like, so I see so many people in Pokemon, like, victimize themselves, right? And it's a normal, pretty common thing. Like, oh, I drew bad, I couldn't win, whatever. And, like, a lot of the time, that is the truth. But that man is living proof that you can get out of any situation, right? I'll never give up on the game. And I think that's the most impressive part of this whole thing for me, is just playing so hard and winning all those tournaments and never having a tournament off is incredible. All right, so we can get into the winner of the MVP award. There we go, our last one, my last envelope. Gonna have to go to the post office, buy some more after this. Ain't no one's getting their cards that I'm selling the next week. we got Henry Chow. Surprise. So Henry's got a speech for us. His third one of the day. We'll give it to you guys right here.
Yo, what's going on, Shift Gear fans? What's going on, everyone? It's Henry coming at you once again, this time to accept a different award, the MVP of the Season award. So thank you guys so much. It's an honor to win this one. I really appreciate it. Thanks to Shift Gear for doing these. Yeah, I mean, I watch a lot of regular sports as well, so it's really cool to have these awards for Pokemon as well, even if they're less official or whatever. It's cool that the people get to vote on them. And it's an honor to have won this year. I was feeling pretty good about winning this award earlier on in the season, but then I saw the ballot last week and I saw that Gabriel Fernandez was on there, and then I was like, shoot, I don't actually know who I would vote for here. But luckily people are valuing the Masters accomplishments this time around. But yeah, I'd be willing to bet that Gabriel will win this in the next couple of years, so I'm just lucky to have got one in before he ages up. Well, I don't want to give him too much pressure, but yeah, it seems like that'll probably happen. But yeah, going into this year, I wasn't really sure what to expect. Last year I didn't play too much. I just sort of caught on halfway through and played three events and then Worlds, and I had that good run at NAIC, but then I absolutely bombed Worlds, so I didn't really know what to think about myself. But then yeah, I was luckily able to take down the first major of the year at Baltimore, partly in thanks due to Archeops for getting his double turbo energies at home in game 1. Yeah, so sorry about that, Kieran, but that helped me out because that gave me the confidence for the rest of the year. Made me feel like I could build decks and perform, especially when it came to late tournament situations. So yeah, I'm not going to bore you guys too much. I already have shouted out Gardevoir earlier and Secret Box and all that stuff. I guess the one thing is I'll shout out Professor's Research. I've been including that card in my deck for a long time, and it managed to pay itself out at Atlanta when I sacked against Hedrick and got Candy Ultra Ball Stretcher. So yeah, I've definitely had my fair share of lucky breaks throughout this year, but you know, that's kind of what it takes to win regionals sometimes. So a lot of things have aligned for me this year, and I've just been very grateful for all of it. And yeah, thanks so much to everyone who supports me. It really means a lot. Everyone who reaches out and messages me nice things. And yeah, I hopefully will see a lot of you guys at the events, and hopefully I can put on a good Worlds to cap things off. If not, we will try again next year.
All right, thank you, Henry, for that another speech, which is getting insane at this point. We got a lot of speeches from Henry. One notable omission from this, Bradley Moore. I thought he had a shot at this one. I don't know what happened. Someone voted him at the end, unsurprisingly, and I also want to give a shout out to Mark from my locals. He's trying his best was another submission, and Leroy Jenkins was another submission for most valuable player in the Pokemon universe. So shout out Leroy Jenkins, Mark from your locals, and Bradley Moore. But most of all, shout out Henry Chow. All right, so now we're on to the fun ones. I mean, these are all been fun, but we're on to some more fun ones. So we have the locational-based awards. Kieran, do you want to start with least favorite or most favorite?
We can start with least favorite, which is aptly named
Sure.
the Peoria Award, given to the location that had a major this year that people dislike the most, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is kind of like vibes. We just had a lot of people. I mean, we tallied up what people voted for, but we had lots of submissions for these awards, and there were some fun answers here. Aneil, do you have a guess for what won?
Dude, it's called the Peoria Award, but there was no Peoria.
There's no Peoria this year, so Peoria's ineligible to win.
Yeah, I think if I were to vote, and I don't want to slight anyone or whatever. If I'm voting, it's either Louisville or Baltimore for me. Those are both just why the hell am I here kind of spots. Baltimore, we had fun because we saw the Ravens game, and obviously you did very well, so it was a good time. Louisville just kind of felt like it was in the middle of nowhere. I'm not familiar with Kentucky, nor will I ever be, but it did feel like a very random location for a regional, and I think there's a casino across the street, so that was pretty good. But other than that, a few mans wrote in Toronto, which I think is hilarious. Someone said Toronto in brackets. I know y'all would appreciate this perspective, so respect for that. And there's a lot of people just kind of voting for random things because they can't drive to them. Fresco, not gonna lie, was buns was a personal favorite of mine. But yeah, that would be my vote. Probably Baltimore or Louisville. Sorry, that was a very drawn out answer for what you said.
Yeah, this one was one that was kind of overwhelming this year. It was Baltimore won by a landslide. So I guess the Pokemon community was not feeling Baltimore. I mean,
hard to imagine why.
My take is just a lot of the cities that we play regionals in, they're just not fun as a tourist, you know? Baltimore's a city is just at night, everything kind of closes down. There's not a lot going on. The airport's really annoying to fly to. It's not a major airport, you have to fly to Washington all the time. I mean, I did very well in Baltimore. but I kind of agree. It's not my favorite regional location, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is like there are a lot of nothing places we go to, right? A lot of non-touristy places, but like most of those places are at least quite safe. I think that was the one beef with Baltimore. We had to pay a duty to get into the liquor store. There were mans outside trying to rob my boy.
Wait,
And,
really?
Yeah. Have I never told you this story?
No.
Yeah, we were like dropping off at a liquor store and like we were like desperate at this point. We're like, yo, we need some drinks or something, right? And we drop off our boy. There's 5 of us in the whip. We're driving by, drop off our boy in front of this liquor store. We're like, yo, bro, are you sure you want to go in here? He's like, yeah, I got this. And apparently these 5 mans were at the door trying to like rob people and they wouldn't let him in. So he slipped them like a 40 to like get into the freaking liquor store and got out unharmed. So very interesting experiences in
Nice.
Baltimore. And I remember even walking over to like through Camden Yards, like that was a really nice area, but then you'd go one more block down towards the Raven Stadium and you're like, okay.
Bro, my favorite was like I was staying in Airbnb and it was like 8 o'clock, 8:30. I'm like, okay, let's go get some food. Like everything was closed except this like Chinese restaurant, and we go, and there's just like bulletproof glass. You're like ordering behind, like I just gotta say this like as a Canadian, like I've always felt a little uncomfortable when I go to the States, but whenever I see stuff like that, it's just like, okay, like I'm in a different place, like so.
Yeah, I've gotten unfortunately quite used to it. I don't really feel irked by going to the States at all. But that is definitely something like having like bulletproof glass, like the Panda Express, is crazy business.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember, I think it was the Columbus Convention Center. Like there'll just be a sign on the door. It's like, please leave your firearms in the car. And I'm like, bro, like, don't remind me about this. Like,
Yeah, you just got it demonetized. What the hell, man?
did I?
We're gonna make no money off this video.
Oh, okay, I gotta edit that out then.
No, it was kind of jokes. I don't care. We don't make no money anyways.
We'll
You
lose
think I
our
care?
$10 in ad revenue.
Yeah, bro,
per
I don't care.
episode.
Yo, speaking of which, can y'all please subscribe, bro? Like 80% of y'all aren't subscribed, and you know that's what drives the metric. So, mucho respecto for subscribing, but we need y'all to click that button, please and thank you.
Nice.
We're so bad at showing that. Like, we never tell people to do anything because we don't care, right? But sometimes we need need some support, need some love. So, all right. Anyways, back onto the track. So, our favorite regional or / IC locations. I know we have our personal opinions. The people also have their personal opinions. So, Kieran, I already know yours, but please enlighten the viewers what they already know.
I mean, I'm just gonna put the Canadian locations.
Yes.
I'm biased, but I think they're the best regional cities we have. And even though I'm biased, the votes backed it up as well. Like Toronto and Vancouver were overwhelmingly 1 and 2. Vancouver was
Yeah.
number 1, and Toronto was number 2. After that, New Orleans was like a distant third, and then we had just a bunch of stuff. San Antonio actually got a lot of votes. I was kind of surprised.
That was my vote. Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah, I love Toronto. I love Vancouver, obviously. I just want to kind of be a little bit different there. San Antonio, man. San Antonio, unbelievable regional city. Like, you finish the regionals, you go down, the boardwalk's right there, the river walk. You go walk down, you can have some drinks and walk through, and there's a bunch of restaurants and stuff. And the Spurs play there. I mean, we didn't go in season last time, so that kind of sucked. But dude, really, really awesome place. Felt really safe. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Shout out Aiden Coos for housing me in San Antonio, his hometown. I think the problem for like most of the American cities is they don't host regionals in like the big US cities. So it's like they kind of like don't get to like have a New York or like a Chicago on the ballot type of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I also really enjoyed Milwaukee. Milwaukee's a really fun city. I think people give it a bad rap, and it is different depending on what kind of person you are. I'd say too. Like I'm always like I'm going out, right? Like at these tournaments, that's my main focus. I want to go out. I want to have fun. And Milwaukee is so much fun. It's like a going out like college town. It's a great vibe. That and Knoxville, I always had a great time at. And some like the big ones that other people like, I'm not huge on. Like for example, like London. I don't know, like it's London.
But
right?
I feel like the community is like tired of London, to be honest. Like I saw like when they announced the ICs again this year, everyone just like crashing out over London. Well, the thing with London is like they put in like the worst part of the city. It's like it's so disconnected from like everything else.
Yeah.
And London's just an expensive place, right? So it's like it's cheap to fly to for most people. At least for like I think if you're not from like Europe. But yeah, I think actually I'd have to give a dishonorable mention to TPCI for not rotating the IC locations. Like I get they sign contracts, but like man, like it's so annoying that we go to the same places every single year.
We're trying to get them to like us. So TPCI, you're doing great. You're doing great, honey. We respect everything you do. Please keep putting ICs in London. We love it. Thank you.
Actually, no, if you could pick a city in Europe to get the IC, which one would you pick?
Dortmund, Germany. It's easy.
Dortmund? Don't they have a regional already?
Yeah, because I'm a Dortmund fan. I just want to go. Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah. Nice. I think it'd
Where'd
be
we
cool
go?
to go in Spain, maybe Madrid or Barcelona.
Hmm.
I don't think Portugal gets any tournaments. I love Lisbon. That's a great city.
Lisbon would be great. Yeah, I could vibe with some like Glasgow. I could do some like
Okay.
out there
Up
too.
Scotland.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Let's do some ethnic.
Yeah. Wait, ethnic in Scotland?
It's ethnic, bro.
I
They got
guess.
culture out there. They got culture, man. They have a decent football team too. I like their players. So shout out
Yeah.
Scotland, bro. Shout out Scotland. All right. Anyways, we'll stop yapping. So Toronto, Vancouver, overwhelming favorites there. Obviously, we had New Orleans there, and shout out New Orleans. That was a really fun city. Really enjoyed that. Best Pokemon TCG podcast. This one I probably shouldn't have made the other answer as fun as it was because it was kind of close. Shift Gear won at 58.7, and literally anything else came in as a close second at 41.3%. So shout out all you. I would have voted literally anything else. You guys know us. Like we're not voting for Shift Gear. That is a Wasteman podcast. So shout out literally anything else for giving us a good run for our money.
Yes, but Shift Gear reigns supreme. So I'm sorry, Lake of Rage. I'm sorry, Uncommon Energy. I'm sorry, Beast Court. You guys got to step up your game. You guys are not the podcast of the year. It is the Shift Gear podcast. The best.
There was nothing biased about what we did.
Clean
nothing.
award.
It was clean. It was clean. Yeah.
No election
exactly.
interference here. We run a clean.
This is like the
clean
definition of like a doping scandal, bro. We're like doping right now. Like we're gonna get banned from the Olympics for doing this stuff. All right, last award, then we're done here. All right, it's 12:22 a.m.
Well,
I got to work tomorrow.
Well, I think we have two because I think you have your impromptu award. Then we also have to do the fan of the year award, Neil.
Right, we have two. So why don't you do fan of the year first, and then I'll do mine after.
All right. So fan of the year, we just give it to the person who's the biggest fan of Shift Gear this year, supports the podcast, is always in the comments, hyping us up. Last year we gave it to Mo, our boy Mo. Shout out Mo, you're still a strong contender. But this year I think someone was clearly number one. I don't think there's a single episode where this guy wasn't in our comments. He's always on Twitter hyping us up, tagging us and everything. So we have to give Shift Gear fan of the year to Viraj this year. Congratulations, Viraj. We appreciate how much you hype us up and support the podcast. And we appreciate everyone who supports our podcast. Everyone who comes to us at regionals to says hi. Everyone in the comments every week. Just you watching the videos or listening to the podcast. Aneil and I have a lot of fun with it. So you guys are all amazing fans. But Viraj, you are number one. You are the fan of the year.
Yes. And we have fun with it because we demonetize ourselves and we don't care. Kieran talking about some firearms on the podcast. There's this one, I watched this one, I think Skeen sent it to me. There's this one like Google review of us, of the podcast from like 2 years ago or like a year ago. And it killed me. It was some guy like talking about how we talk about drugs.
What?
And I was like, I don't remember us talking about drugs, but he said there was a lot of like references to like recreational marijuana. And I still don't know where it came from. But
was this an episode I missed?
No, we were both there. Like, when have we ever talked about marijuana on the
right
Shift
now?
Gear podcast?
Apparently.
Yeah, right now. I guess maybe we got to edit this out. I got to read YouTube's rules. But anyways, so carrying on. We don't care about money apparently. The last one I wanted to give out this year was the Wasteman of the year. And I think there's a lot of good candidates for this one, but it's got to be a Toronto man because it's the Wasteman of the year, So there's a lot of good entries all in my brain. None of them came from other people. But I want to give the Wasteman of the year award to Charles Ames because he's my boy. And he's just a waste man, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Like, he's just a waste man. So he had a kid this year. So shout out Poppy Charles Ames. He's now a dad, and he's doing great to support his child. But he is a complete waste man. And if you guys have any write-in Waste Man of the Year award nominees, please always let us know. We're happy to feature all waste mans of all types on the Shift Gear podcast. That's all I got.
Awesome. Well, that concludes the second annual Shifties Award Show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let us know which award you think you disagreed with. If we snubbed anybody, what awards we should add next year. Maybe at the start of the year, Neil and I have to list out what awards people are competing for, so people know if there's something like a Yapper of the year, like they need to be contending for it.
Might have to give Wasteman of the Year to Azul. I don't know.
You're very harsh on Azul this episode, Neil.
I don't know, man. I really wanted him to be here. I thought it'd be hilarious. But he ditched us. Wasteman of the Year, Azul. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm playing. He'll have a good episode of the Uncommon Energy at some point for y'all because he's doing that the whole weekend instead of being with us. So shout out to Azul, shout out to all the Wastemans everywhere. We appreciate all of you for listening with us today. Let us know how you felt about the shifties. Like Kier said, I'm sure we omitted some people. I'm sure some things went over some people's heads and our heads as well. So we'll definitely double back and do better. But we'll be back every week until Worlds and after Worlds on Wednesdays. If you're new here, thank you so much for being here. We like to just make idiots of ourselves and talking to mics every Wednesday at 12 p.m. So thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe, like, let us know down below how you liked the shifties. Kieran, do you have anything to shill or what's going on here?
I mean, no. I mean, my links are in the description. I shill every week. I'll take a week off shilling.
This is crazy. This is amazing. This guy's not shilling for one whole week. Y'all got a really good episode today. There's no shilling. I'm not shilling anything either. I don't care. I'm just here for vibes. And we will, I guess we'll wrap it up. We're gonna start doing some world stuff starting next week. We got some preps to do. I gotta look at what Jellicent does because it seems kind of scary. So we'll figure that out. But thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Later.